What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. We have a great show lined up for you today. We are going to be previewing the Steelers' Week 14 matchup against the dreaded Baltimore Ravens, those Ratbirds. We're going to get into all the action, but before I get into my analysis of the game here, go ahead and give us your score prediction for this week's game in the comments section below. I'll be revealing my score prediction at the end of today's video, so make sure to stay tuned. But before we get going, go in the comments section. This is the pinned comment of today's video, so whenever there's an ad break, just give us your score prediction for today's matchup. All right, now let's get into all the action. And as always, we're going to start with injuries, and we're going to start with the Steelers. So some pretty interesting story points here. Ahkello Witherspoon on IR right now, likely out for at least most of the rest of the season. And then you got William Jackson III, who is actually eligible to come off of IR with that back injury. Mike Tomlin, during his press conference today, was non-committal on whether or not he would be coming back this week. It would sure be nice to see him in black and gold. We traded for him, for darn sake. It'd be nice to see him in a Steelers uniform sometime this season, but it's still up in the air whether or not he's going to play. TJ Watt is still dealing with those rib injuries. Whether or not that's going to affect his performance against the Ravens is still, I guess we're going to see that on Sunday, but overall, he's going to be a full go. He's going to be playing. He's going to be limited in practice, but he is playing this weekend. And then Chris Boswell, who's currently on IR, but he is expected to play this week. Matthew Wright's been holding down the fort for him, and now Chris Boswell is expected to be back this week off of IR. But once again, Mike Tomlin was non-committal on whether or not he'd be in the lineup, but the reports are indicating that he will be in the lineup this weekend. All right, Yinzers, spam 9. If you're excited for Boswell to get back out on the field, I'm certainly excited to see him back out there. Matthew Wright is fine, but Chris Boswell, he just has a completely different vibe. Complete Yinzer, Chris Boswell is. I can't wait to see him back on the field. Spam those 9s right now. All right, now let's get into the Ravens injuries today. And the big news of the week, of course, is that Lamar Jackson is doubtful to play this week with that, I think it's his PCL sprain in his knee. So, I mean, he's going to be doubtful to play this week. And, I mean, it's looking like Tyler Huntley's going to be the quarterback, which, of course, is huge news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Definitely gives the Steelers an advantage. And then Ronnie Stanley, he's also questionable with an ankle this week. That left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the National Football League, questionable to go this week. If he can't go, Tyler Huntley, I mean, good luck with Alex Highsmith. That's all I'm going to say, man. And then the linebacker, Patrick Queen, left last week's game with a thigh injury. He's also questionable to go as well. But really the big story for the Ravens this season are all the starters that they have on IR. I mean, you got their number one receiver in Rashad Bateman, their number one running back in J.K. Dobbins, their number one run stuffer, the nose tackle Michael Pierce. Their starting safety Marcus Williams is out too. I mean, look at all these guys. 5 starters on IR, no chance to play this week. And the Ravens, I mean, they're a playoff team right now, but they're definitely reeling when it comes to injuries right now, especially with Lamar Jackson now out of the lineup. All right, guys, before I get into my keys to victory for the Steelers this week, let's have a word from our sponsor at Rocket Money. All right, before I signed up for Rocket Money, guys, I was actually paying for 2 Netflix accounts, and I didn't even know it. I had 2 different accounts set up with different emails, and I was paying for double what I should have been paying for Netflix. But once I got Rocket Money, it showed me that I was paying 2 subscriptions for Netflix, and I was able to cancel that right away, and now I'm paying what I'm supposed to for Netflix. This could be you as well, but I mean, this is our sponsor today. Rocket Money does a great job at doing just this. This app allows puts all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't know that you were paying for, just like with me with the Netflix subscription. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel. It's super easy. Rocket Money makes it super easy for you to cancel those unwanted subscriptions. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money right now. You got to go to rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk to help support the channel. And then also, guys, if you want to save hundreds of dollars this year on stuff that you don't even want to be paying for, you don't even know that you're paying for, go use our link right now, support the channel, save some money at rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk right now. All right, now let's get into today's matchup and my keys to victory. And right now, the Steelers, they're actually favored in this one, which is absolutely nuts. They're almost 3-point favorites. 2.5 is the line right now for the Steelers. And I really think the Steelers have a good chance because Lamar Jackson is out, because they have all these starters that are out due to injury. I'm really excited to see what the Steelers can do, but let's take a look at the guys on the Ravens roster that could potentially be a problem for Pittsburgh this weekend. Number one is Marlon Humphrey, the cornerback, one of the best man-to-man corners in the National Football League. He is a complete eraser when it comes to manning up one-on-one. The Ravens love to play man coverage. They love to blitz. And Marlon Humphrey, whether he's on Deontay Johnson or George Pickens, he's going to be able to take that away more often than not. My guess is he'll be on Deontay Johnson, so George Pickens needs to have a big week this week. And then Calais Campbell, really good run stopper, really decent pass rusher as well from the interior. He's a beast. He's been a pro in this league for a long time. He's going to be getting after Kenny Pickett this week. And then Mark Andrews, man. I mean, with Rashad Bateman out of the lineup, Tyler Huntley really likes throwing to Mark Andrews when he's in the ballgame. So you got to take Mark Andrews away. And that's my number one key to the game this week is you got to take away Mark Andrews because we know Tyler Huntley is going to be targeting him one time after another. It's going to be constantly throwing to Mark Andrews. That's where he's going to want to go. So in my opinion, the Steelers need to get two guys on him. They need to bracket him. They need to do whatever it takes to take him out of the ballgame and force the Ravens wide receivers to beat us. Look at that. Devin Duvernay is their wide receiver 1 right now. On most teams, he'd be like their wide receiver 3 or 4. He is not very good, guys. And then Demarcus Robinson's had a couple decent games here or there. Deshaun Jackson's shown some good things as well. But we want those guys to beat the Steelers this week, not Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is obviously one of the best receiving tight ends in the National Football League today. And you got to do whatever it takes to take him out of the ball game. I don't care if you have to double him. I don't care if you got to put Minkah Fitzpatrick on him one-on-one. It doesn't matter. You got to take him. You got to take him away. You got to put him out of the ball game if you want to win this football game. All right, guys, we are in a sub battle this week with the Chat Sports channel, or the Ravens channel here at Chat Sports, I should say. Ravens Rundown. All right. Yesterday we got 13 subs. Great start. We got out to an early lead, but right now we need to bury these guys. All right, we're not just going to beat the Ravens on the field this week. We need to embarrass Ravens Rundown in the subcategory this week. So if you're new to the channel here, you like what you're hearing, you like this kind of news and rumor style content, daily stuff, go ahead and click subscribe and help us win our sub battle this week. All right, now number 2 on my list is the Steelers have to stop the run. Right, the Ravens, their bread and butter, with or without Lamar Jackson, is running the football. Right now, they have 5.2 yards per carry this season, which ranks 3rd in the National Football League. That's pretty darn good, right? And the last time they played the Steelers last year, early January of this year, 2022, they rushed for over 200 rushing yards. I mean, that's insane. The Steelers can't allow this again. They got lucky last time with a lot of interceptions on Tyler Huntley, but if they want to win this week, they're going to have to limit these guys to less than 200 rushing yards, in my opinion. But the good news is I think the Steelers can do that. Right now, they're allowing 4.1 yards per carry, which is 5th in the National Football League. So on paper, at least, this is a good matchup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is definitely another category here that's in the Steelers' favor this week. Number 3 on my list this week, coming up here is you got to turn the ball over on Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, the last time they played the Steelers really put pressure on him. They forced him into mistakes, and they got to do that again. Tyler Huntley, last time he played the Steelers, was just not very good. Barely a completion percentage over 50%. Not very good at all. Just a couple hundred yards, no touchdowns and a couple interceptions. Definitely not what you're looking for if you're the Baltimore Ravens. And I mean, it just wasn't a great performance from Huntley overall. I don't know if he's going to play this poorly this week. I mean, he's got a little bit more experience under his belt. He's a pretty talented kid overall, and maybe the Steelers defense isn't as good as it was last season, but at the end of the day, I really think Huntley will make mistakes. Those opportunities are going to be there, and the Steelers can take advantage of them, and if they do that, they get points off of turnovers, all this good stuff. The Steelers are going to have a really good chance to come away with the W this week. All right, guys, it's the season of giving, and I'm in the giving spirit. I want to show my appreciation to all the real Yinzers out there. So if you go follow me on Twitter right now, at Jack_Sperry, you're going to be automatically entered to win a free Steelers jersey of the player and color of your choice. This is on me, guys. This is on my dime. I got it all. So if you want a chance to win a free Steelers jersey on Christmas Day, go ahead and follow me at Jack_Sperry right now. And the last point of the day here, guys, is that Kenny Pickett needs to play better than Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson. Whoever ends up playing, it's most likely going to be Tyler Huntley. But Kenny Pickett, this is not a defense that's really that he's going to be able to just pick apart, right? I mean, they're league average in a couple of areas here, yards per play. You can move the ball pretty decently on these guys. But on third down, they really get after you. They like to send the blitz. They don't allow a lot of rush yards. So it's not like Kenny Pickett is going to be able to just rely on the rushing game. And then these guys get after the quarterback. They're fifth in the National Football League in sacks, and then they turn the football over. So, I mean, all of these things compile for a defense that's going to be tough for Kenny Pickett to play against. I think in this game, plain and simply, Kenny Pickett and the Steelers offense is going to have to throw the ball down the field. The last couple games, Matt Canada has kind of accentuated the quick passing game, and the numbers for Kenny Pickett have been pretty good over the last couple weeks. For the season, he's completing over 65% of his passes, over 1,500 yards, 4 touchdowns and 8 picks, but he hasn't had a pick in 4 weeks. He's played really solid, clean football where he's going to have to do that again. Maybe he doesn't need to get 0 interceptions, but he needs to limit the mistakes. His downfield accuracy needs to be a lot better in this game than it has in previous games because the Ravens are going to force him to throw the ball down the field to George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Muth, and the like. So it's going to be an interesting game for me. It's a really important game for Kenny Pickett to really get right, in my opinion. So will Kenny Pickett have another game with 0 interceptions this week? Type Y for yes or type N for no. For me, I think he's going to have 1 interception. I think he'll screw up one time, break that streak. I think 5 games without an interception is just ridiculous. So if he ends up doing it, fantastic. I don't want him to throw an interception, but this defense creates a lot of turnovers. I think they'll probably get 1 on Pickett this weekend. All right, now it's time for my score prediction. And with Lamar Jackson out of the lineup, I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this one at home by a final score of 23-20. With the Ravens, you really never know what you're going to get. They're a very explosive offense, but they also give up very explosive plays as well. So it's an interesting matchup. You never really know what you're going to get with the Ravens when you play in these interdivision matchups. But what I really love about the Steelers right now is that Kenny Pickett, he's not trying to do too much. The defense is coming up big when they need to, and they're getting W's. 3 out of their last 4 games have been wins, and I think they're going to get their 3rd straight win this week against the dreaded Ratbirds, those stupid Ravens. We're going to beat them in the sub battle as well, but we're also going to beat them on the field 23-20. All right, guys, are you a true Yinzer? If you are a true Yinzer, made it to the end of the video, type Yinzer for life in all caps in the comments section if you made it to the end. I appreciate you, Steeler Nation. And until next time, guys, peace.